Hey everyone, welcome back to Talk Emma. I'm Emma.
And I'm Jack. Emma, I have a question for you today.
That sounds serious already. Go ahead.
How many English words does someone need before they can have a good conversation?
Oh, maybe thousands?
Exactly. That's what learners think. Thousands of words, hundreds of grammar rules, 10 notebooks,
3 dictionaries.
and maybe one very tired brain.
Poor brain. But actually, you don't need complicated English every time you speak.
Right. Sometimes a few small phrases can do a lot of work.
And that's exactly what we're learning today. 9 English phrases that can make everyday conversation easier, smoother, and much more natural.
And these aren't strange phrases you'll learn today and never hear again.
Exactly. You can use them when you're talking about work, friends, plans, problems, opinions, even when you don't know exactly what to say next.
That last one is important.
Very important, because fluency doesn't mean knowing every word in English. It means knowing how to keep going with the English you already have.
I like that.
Before we begin, if you enjoy practicing real English with us, please like this video and subscribe to Talk Emma. It really helps us keep making these lessons for you.
All right, I'm ready. What's our first phrase?
Let me ask you something first, Jack. Is coffee good for you?
Yes.
Really? Always?
Okay. Maybe not if I drink 7 cups before bed.
7?
I said maybe.
And that is exactly why our first phrase is, it depends.
Ah, yes. I use this one all the time.
We say it depends when there isn't one simple answer, because the answer changes with the situation.
So if you ask me, is living in a big city better?
You could say,
It depends.
exactly.
Maybe it's better for work, but not if you love peace and quiet.
Perfect. And notice something important. You don't always have to stop at it depends. You can continue, it depends on the situation.
Or it depends on what you want.
Yes,
What about it depends on the weather?
absolutely.
Okay, let me test it. Emma, should I wear my new white shoes today?
It depends. Is it raining?
Yes.
Then no.
But they look amazing.
They won't after 5 minutes in the rain.
Fair enough.
So remember, when the answer isn't simply yes or no, it depends gives you time and helps you answer naturally.
Okay, Emma, I have another question.
Go on.
Did you like the movie I recommended last week?
Oh,
Why did you say oh like that?
well,
Emma?
to be honest, I fell asleep halfway through it.
What?
I'm sorry.
That movie won 3 awards.
And apparently it also helped me get a very good night's sleep.
Wow.
And there's our second phrase, to be honest.
So we use it before saying what we really think?
Exactly. Especially when the answer might be a little surprising, personal, or not what the other person expects.
Like, to be honest, I don't really like parties.
Perfect.
Or, to be honest, I'm a little nervous.
Beautiful example. It can make what you say feel more personal and sincere.
Does it always mean something negative?
No, not at all. You can say, to be honest, I loved it. Or, to be honest, this is the best meal I've had all week.
Ah, so it's more like, here's what I really think.
Exactly.
To be honest, I'm still upset about my movie.
Jack.
I'm joking, mostly.
Now, phrase number 3. Imagine you're talking to someone and they explain something to you. Maybe your friend says, I'm going to bed early tonight because I have to wake up at 5 tomorrow. What could you say?
Okay.
You could, but we want to sound a little more engaged.
That makes sense.
Exactly.
I love this phrase because it tells the other person, I understand your reason.
Yes, and that makes it much warmer than only saying, okay. Listen, I'm taking the bus today because my car is at the mechanic.
Oh, that makes sense.
See how natural that feels?
Definitely.
And sometimes you can use it after finally understanding something.
Oh, like when someone explains a grammar rule and I say, that makes sense now.
Exactly.
That little now is nice.
It is. It means you didn't fully understand before, but now you do.
So instead of staying silent when someone explains something, learners can say, that makes sense.
Right. Small phrase, big difference.
What's next?
Let me tell you about my morning first.
Okay.
I woke up late. I couldn't find my keys. Then I spilled coffee on my shirt. I changed my shirt, ran outside, and realized I had forgotten my phone.
Oh no.
Then I went back inside, got my phone, and missed the bus.
Emma,
Yes?
it sounds like you had a terrible morning.
Exactly.
Oh, you tricked me into using phrase number 4.
I prefer the word taught.
Very clever.
It sounds like is wonderful when someone tells you something and you want to react based on what you heard. Your friend says, I worked until midnight and then my baby woke up at 3. You might say, it sounds like you're exhausted.
Or someone says, we went swimming, had lunch by the beach, and watched the sunset.
Then you could say, it sounds like you had a great day.
I like this one because you're not just waiting for your turn to speak, you're actually responding to their story.
Exactly, and that is a huge part of natural conversation. Fluent speakers don't only speak, they react.
That's important.
Very. Okay, phrase number 5. For the time being.
Okay, this next phrase sounds a little more advanced.
It does, but the meaning is actually very simple. For the time being.
Which means?
For now. Temporarily. Something is true now, but it may change later.
Give me a situation.
Imagine your office is being renovated.
Okay.
So your boss says, we'll work from home for the time being.
So we're working from home now, but not necessarily forever.
Exactly.
That's actually easy.
See? Sometimes English looks scarier than it is.
Very true.
Another one, my car is being repaired, so for the time being, I'm taking the bus.
Nice. What if I'm staying with my brother while I look for a new apartment?
Perfect situation.
I'm staying with my brother for the time being.
Exactly.
Although after 2 weeks, my brother might say, the time being is over.
Then you definitely need an apartment.
So the key idea is, this is the situation now, but it may change.
Perfect. Now, phrase number 6, the thing is, Jack, do you want to go out for dinner tonight?
I'd love to.
Great. 7 o'clock?
The thing is, I promised my sister I'd help her move. Did that sound natural?
Very natural. The thing is a phrase we often use before explaining a problem, reason, or important detail.
So instead of suddenly saying, I can't come, I have to work, I can soften it.
Exactly. Compare, I can't come, I have to work, and I'd love to come, the thing is, I have to work.
The second one feels much friendlier.
Right. You're preparing the listener for the explanation. Can I use it when I disagree, too?
Absolutely. Imagine I say, let's drive there, and you say, the thing is, parking is really difficult there.
Lovely. So I'm not directly saying, no, your idea is bad.
Exactly. Although sometimes my ideas are bad.
I wasn't going to say it.
Your face said it.
Now, phrase number 7, you know what?
Okay, I already love this one.
You know what?
It sounds like something interesting is coming next.
Exactly. We often use, you know what, before a new thought, realization, decision, or suggestion. Imagine we're deciding where to eat.
Okay.
We've been talking for 10 minutes. Italian, Mexican, Thai, burgers. Then suddenly I say, you know what? Let's just make dinner at home.
After 10 minutes of choosing a restaurant?
Yes.
That is painfully realistic.
It really is.
So it can introduce a decision.
Yes. Or a realization. You know what? I think you were right.
Oh, I like that sentence.
Of course you do.
Can you say it again?
No. It can also introduce an idea. You know what? We should invite Sarah, too.
So this phrase makes your speech feel spontaneous.
Exactly. It feels like the thought is happening naturally in the conversation. What's next?
I think everyone should work from home.
Everyone.
Yes, no traffic, no commuting, more comfortable.
But some people feel lonely working at home.
That's a good point.
There it is.
That one came naturally.
And that's exactly how we use "that's a good point." Someone gives you an idea or argument that you think is worth considering.
So it doesn't necessarily mean, I completely agree with you.
Excellent. That distinction is important. You can think someone has made a good point without completely changing your opinion.
For example, I still prefer working from home, but that's a good point.
Perfect.
That's really useful in discussions because sometimes learners only know, yes, I agree, or no, I disagree.
Exactly. Real conversation has a lot of space between yes and no.
Ooh, I like that.
Someone might say, maybe we should leave early. Traffic gets bad after 5. And you respond, that's a good point. Let's leave at 4.
Natural, simple, useful.
Exactly.
Last one?
Last one. And this is a very useful phrase when you have information, but you're not completely certain. As far as I know.
Give me an example.
Is the cafe near your house open on Sundays?
As far as I know, yes.
Perfect.
So I think it's open based on what I know, but I'm leaving a little room for the possibility that I'm wrong.
Exactly. Compare, the cafe is open. That sounds certain, but as far as I know the cafe is open means, according to the information I have, yes.
Oh, that's really useful when you don't want to pretend you know everything.
Yes, and that makes your English sound more thoughtful.
Let me try another. Is Anna coming to the meeting? As far as I know, she is.
Perfect.
Did Mark quit his job?
Not as far as I know.
Wait, we can use it like that too?
Yes, not as far as I know means I haven't heard that. According to what I know, no.
Ah, that's beautiful.
It's a really natural response.
So if someone asks, is Emma buying everyone coffee today?
Not as far as I know.
I had to try.
Nice try.
Okay, Emma, I think we need to hear all 9 again.
Absolutely. But this time, don't just listen to the words. Think about what job each phrase does in a conversation.
All right, let's go.
It depends.
When your answer changes with a situation.
To be honest,
When you want to give your real opinion.
that makes sense.
When you understand someone's reason.
It sounds like,
When you react to what someone has told you.
for the time being,
When something is true for now but may change later.
the thing is,
When you're about to explain a reason or problem.
you know what?
When a new thought, idea, or decision comes to you.
That's a good point.
When someone says something worth considering.
And finally, as far as I know,
When you believe something is true but you're not claiming to be 100% certain.
beautiful.
You know what?
What?
9 phrases really can do a lot.
They can, and that's the lesson I really want everyone to remember today. You don't become fluent by trying to make every sentence complicated.
You become fluent by having simple, useful language ready when you need it.
Exactly. Think about a conversation in your own language. You probably use the same little phrases again and again. You react, you explain, you change your mind, you give an opinion, you show that you understand.
And these 9 phrases help you do exactly that in English.
So here's a little challenge. Don't try to memorize all 9 tonight.
Wait, really?
Really, choose 3.
Just 3?
Just 3. Use them in messages, say them aloud. Make your own sentences. Try them in a real conversation if you can.
Because using 3 phrases naturally is better than memorizing 9 and never saying them.
Ah, Jack,
What?
that's a good point.
Hey!
See, once these phrases become part of your English, you don't have to stop and translate them. They simply come out when you need them.
And that is when speaking starts to feel easier.
Exactly. So, everyone, tell us in the comments, which one of these 9 phrases do you think you'll use the most?
Mine is it depends.
Why?
Because whenever you ask me a difficult question, I can escape with it depends.
Jack, that is absolutely not the lesson.
It depends.
Oh, dear. Thank you so much for spending this time with us today. If this episode helped you, please like, share, and subscribe to Talk Emma.
And remember, you don't need perfect English to start speaking.
Start with useful English. Use it often. Let it become natural.
And little by little, you'll notice that you're not just learning English anymore, you're actually using it.
Ah, I love that. We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Keep speaking.